So I wanted to go over the skills that we've covered with Mr. Ziggy here so that you can have everything in one place and also to review prior to our exit session. So this first exercise here is relax on a mat. And what we're looking for from Mr. Ziggy here is for him to go into a DOWN just like this and then rest his little chin down on the ground. Just like that. So when a dog is in a really relaxed body posture, then anything that's going on around them is going to be perceived as not a big deal, nothing to be too concerned about. It's basically just sending a signal to their brain that we're okay, everything's fine. And so this is a really pivotal behavioral exercise that can help Mr. Ziggy to deal with big emotions anytime that he gets overly anxious or overly excited. So for instance, when pups get super excited about 7 in the evening, they're zipping around, you can't get them to calm down, we can do relax on a mat. If they run into a situation, let's say every time we get to the dog park, we're super excited when we get out of the car, we can get out of the car, do relax on a mat, and calm down, and then go into our dog park. It could be bicycles or people that are running by on a path. I've utilized this at a park, and so I'll just hang out about 20 feet back from a path and let bicyclists and people and dogs go by while my pup is relaxing. And what you do is then you just get closer and closer over time, and you've just started to desensitize and counter condition them to whatever the specific stimulus is that gets them overly excited. So a very, very powerful tool in your toolbox is relax on a mat. Next, what we're going to go over is our clickerable exercises. So with relax on a mat, there's absolutely no command. We never say anything. We remain 100% silent. And he has to work through it on his own. And that's actually what makes it such a pivotal or powerful exercise, because he has to 100% work on his own accord. He's not being told to do anything. And so it's the difference between driving a car or watching someone drive a car. When you're driving a car yourself, it's very impactful. So when he has to work through it on his own and you don't give him commands to work through it, it's a very powerful exercise. So next we're going to go over his name game exercises. We just want a very strong name response. It's very impactful for everything else. So Ziggy, give him a click and a treat as soon as he makes eye contact. Next I'm going to drag a treat out to the side to distract him. Ziggy. Good. He's got to come back and make eye contact, even though he wants to look over at the treat. Next, we'll take the treat, drop it on the ground over here. Ziggy. He's got to be able to turn back towards me, even though he's interested in the treat. Then I like to parlay that into some good recall. Oh, I missed the treat. Here we go. Here you go. Ziggy, come. Good boy. Ziggy, sit. Good boy. Ziggy, down. Good boy. Ziggy, stay. Free. So that is our sit down and our stay. Right now with our stay, Ziggy, stay. Free. We can turn away from him, so that is always going to be a little bit more challenging. If you do a repetition where you walk away from him and it's too hard, he comes after you and walks towards you, feel free to do a repetition while you're facing him. So just back up this way, continue to face him, tell him to stay, and he can more easily make success with that methodology. So next, let's look at our leave it exercise. Leave it. So we just want that real definitive pullback, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So at this point, we can just shove a handful of treats in front of his face, leave it. Good job, bud. We can also utilize different various objects, and I encourage you to do so. so that he makes a more broad-based generalization about leave it means leave anything. Leave it. Very good. So dog toys, sticks, anything you have around, work with him on. And as you notice there, he got the dog toy in his mouth. And you can tell him leave it and he'll let it go. Or if he's getting interested in something, I can tell him leave it and he won't get it. So basically I'll use a leave it interchangeably with a drop it. If he gets something, I'll tell him leave it. If he's going after something, I'll tell him leave it. So next I want to go over our space exercise where we're asking for about a 2-foot bubble around us. So Ziggy, space. So this is our anti-jumping. So the way this looks, I like to do this as a preventative measure. Ziggy, space. And catch him before he has an opportunity to jump on me. If he did jump on me, you can still tell him space, but if you can do it beforehand, then it'll cut it off at the pass and we'll really start to slow down that behavior and make it less pronounced much more rapidly. So Ziggy, let's try one. Space from behind. So what you want to do, work on some from the front, some from the side, some from the side, some from behind, and that'll help him understand that all the way around you, he needs to give you space. And usually the behind is the most challenging space. And then lastly, one thing that we have worked on is when he's too close, we can actually go space. Good, and he'll back up and give us a little bit of space. Space. Good job. And then actually one final piece is actually when he gives you a sit, it's fine. That's not required. I just want him to give me a bubble around myself. If he gives me a sit or a down, then that's above and beyond. But just the 2-foot is the requirement that we're looking for. Ziggy, touch. Good boy. So this is our targeting exercise. We want Mr. Ziggy to be able to go wherever we want him to go purely by putting our hand down. And that's how we're able to achieve this. We just put our hand down and then he'll go wherever we want. Ziggy, touch. So you can utilize this for loose leash walking if he isn't quite exactly where he needs to be positioned. You can put your hand down, tell him touch, and he'll go where you need him to go. Or if he's meandering around, not quite exactly where he needs to be, you can put your hand out and tell him touch. He'll come on back to that spot. I really like to use it when I'm in public with a dog, and if they're getting distracted, it's a simple command that you can give them that will get them to focus back in on you and position themselves. So they might be space. So they might be meandering over here, kind of sniffing, getting interested in something, and I'll tell them touch, and Ziggy, touch, and then have them come back to the exact spot where I want them. So if I want them right here, good job, bud, then you can tell them touch. So it has a multitude of different applications. It's actually the beginning of agility training. So just getting your dog to go inside, outside poles, up ramps, and all that good stuff is simply targeting. You just have them follow your target. So you can use your hand when you're doing agility training. A lot of times you'll use a wand to follow that because it's a little bit easier for them. So we're going to sign off here and go over our loose leash walking. Just it'll take us a minute to get him leashed up, but he is a champion. Just really done a great job.